Welcome to Commander Budgeteer, creating inexpensive commander decks so that you can play the best format in Magic without breaking the bank. This deck tech does include the commander price in the cost, so you can play this entire deck with the commander for just about $25. Today we'll be looking at the Dragon, an awesome 5-color commander dragon that makes our dragons cost 1 less and allows us to do some crazy busted things if we can get him out to attack. So of course we are going to stuff our deck full of dragons. I actually made a small mistake on this screen, so you can see Atarka Worldrender is on here twice. Obviously, Atarka is not in the deck twice, but we also see Ojutai Soul of Winter, as well as a whole slew of other dragons that we're going to try to cheat into play using our Dragon's ability, and many of them have abilities that also trigger when they attack. So it's very much an attack with dragon strategy right on the top end of our curve. So also, since we are playing so many dragons, we're going to play some cards to help out those dragons. Dragon Tempest is an awesome enchantment we can drop down. We also have several of the archetypes so that we can give our dragons either flying, and all of them obviously have flying, but we're going to make other creatures lose flying, as well as things like Favorable Winds and Tomorrow's Ascendancy to give them things like haste and +1/+1. Now we're going to have a ton of ramp in this deck, obviously because it's a 5-color deck, and we're going to play huge dragon spells, and Dragon is extremely expensive himself. So starting with some artifact ramp, we do have a package of clue stones and talismans based on the cheapest ones and getting some even color pairings. So you can see those here is our first form of ramp, but we're not only going to have that, we're going to have even more ramp with things like Dragonlord Servant, lowering the cost of our dragons. Another one, Mrs. Pilgrimage, is the classic kind of green ramp effect, putting some lands into play and in our hand. And then we also have many mana dorks such as Leyline Prowler. All of them either tap for 1 mana of any color or have the potential to tap for multiple mana in a turn. So that is the goal for all of our mana dorks. So obviously if we have all of our creatures set up, we are still going to have some threats we want to get rid of. So we have a couple of removal spells here like Devour and Shadow. Submerge is an extremely fun one. And also Draconic Roar was just too on theme not to have. We also have a couple of really nice white removal spells such as Oblivion Ring and Oust, which can really help us take care of most threats in the game. Removal, obviously, we're going to want to hold it back and save for the times when Dragon is on the field, or just allow us to get up to that board state. Also, if the board gets out of control before we can do much, since we are a late game play, we do have several board wipes in here. Descend Upon the Sinful, a slightly positive board wipe for ourselves, slightly one-sided. Rebuild is very nice if someone is playing an artifact deck. You can absolutely annihilate them, and has the ability to cycle if we don't want it. And Starstorm can be great if we do get a bunch of dragons on the field and we can ping down all the little stuff, which will probably give us the best advantages. We're going to have a lot of big creatures. Now, obviously, in any deck, you're going to want a good form of card draw, and I would say that the weakest part of this deck is its card draw, so this is the place that I would upgrade the soonest. But as long as we can play Dragon, he's going to give us a lot of card advantage, drawing us tons and tons of cards, so I felt like this was the place to let the deck slide off a little bit. But Tomorrow's Ascendancy is going to keep us drawing cards. Biden of Thassa, also a very good card to get a lot of value out of, and we have a couple dragons that let us sort of draw a card and discard a card, and also many of our cards have cycling so that we can use them when we need. Now moving on to a couple of game winners, because just because you play a bunch of big dragons doesn't mean you win the game, but Primaral's Glorious Rebirth can absolutely be crushing to your opponents, putting a bunch of stuff back onto the battlefield. Dragonstorm, if you can play it in a turn where you played 3 or 4 other spells, can be amazing and go get you what you want. And don't sleep on Dragon Tempest, as it can do a lot of damage if you get that thing out early and can really be annihilating to your opponent's board. Now you can see that if we go over to TCG Player and you optimize your cart, you can pick this deck up for about $27 pre-shipping. I know we didn't quite hit that $25 mark, but that is including the Dragon, which is about $10. So you can pick up all the parts for this deck for about $17 and trade for an Dragon if you want, but we did make it pretty close, so I hope you'll cut me a little slack. As always, if you enjoyed, check out some of our other videos. One you might want to look at is our $10 5-color mana base, so that you can get that mana base set up without being completely basic lands, and that would be pretty nice for you. And I hope you enjoyed this today. I hope you can pick up a cheap deck and go and have an awesome game of Commander this week. Thank you. Catch you later.